Hello everyone, this is the Board Game Lawyer. Today I'm going to do another Marvel Champions playthrough video using the Marvel Champions Monthly Matchup Challenge. Now they've issued another 2-week challenge to the community, and they entitled this one Doomed Artifacts. They've given us the villain, which is the Red Skull, and the encounter sets that they've selected is the Doomsday Chair and the Galactic Artifacts. So today I'm going to use a Captain Marvel Justice deck. So let's get started. I'm mostly set up. I have the Rise of Red Skull main scheme here. Side 1A says, set up, put the red house into play, shuffle every other side scheme into the side scheme deck, and set it next to the encounter deck. Set the sleeper aside out of play. So I have the sleeper here. We put it aside out of play. We brought the red house into play, and it comes into play with 3 threat on it. So that will complete side 1A of the Rise of Red Skull. We'll flip the card, and it reads, Forced response. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, reveal the top card of the side scheme deck and put it into play. So, we'll try to remember to do that. The Red Skull, his text says, the Red Skull gets +1 attack for each side scheme in play. So I think we have the Red Skull completely set up. Carol Danvers starts the game with a hand size of 6. Her ability says, Commander action, choose a player to draw 1 card. Limit once per round. So, again, she starts with a hand size of 6. So we'll draw our cards. We have Avengers Mansion. We have Energy Absorption. We have Venom. We have Turn the Tide. Energy. Cosmic Flight. So those are our 6 cards. I think I'm going to discard Cosmic Flight. And I will discard, let's discard Venom for now, and we will also, let's discard Turn the Tide to draw 3 more cards. So we draw Strength, we draw Crisis Interdiction, and 4 Justice. Carol Danvers' ability allows us to draw an additional card. So we start the game with 7 cards. So it's good to have for Justice. I think we want to play that for sure. I think I'll use my Energy and my Strength card to play the Avengers Mansion. And of course the Avengers Mansion, we'll exhaust it and we will draw 1 card. So we draw Photonic Blast, which I think I might use. I can't do any damage to the Red Skull because the Red House side scheme says that the Red Skull cannot take damage. Interrupt. When a character thwarts the side scheme, they may use their attack instead of their thwart. So we will flip to our Captain Marvel side, and we will use the Crisis Interdiction cards to pay for the Justice card, which will remove 3 threat from the scheme. So we'll get to remove the Red House and discard it. Then using our Energy Absorption, we can deal 5 damage to an enemy, which is the Red Skull. And it says if you paid for this using a energy resource, we can draw a card. So we'll do 5 damage to the Red Skull. So I'll take him down to 7. And of course Captain Marvel can do an attack. So she's going to attack. Oh, and by the way, whenever I use that card, I could draw a card. So we're going to draw Captain Marvel's helmet. And we'll exhaust Captain Marvel to do 2 more damage to the Red Skull, which will take him down to 5. At the end of my turn, I'm going to ready Captain Marvel, ready my Avengers Mansion, discard Captain Marvel's helmet, and draw 5 cards. So we draw Power of Justice, another 4 Justice, Determination, Jack Flag, and Energy Channel. Okay. So So we'll set our hand aside for now as we begin the Red Skull's turn. So he's going to begin by placing one threat on the Rise of Red Skull. And then using the Force Response, we will grab a Side Scheme from the Side Scheme deck, and we bring into play Censor the Past. When defeated, each player chooses up to 3 cards in their discard pile and shuffle them into their deck. So that card comes into play with 3 threat on it. Okay, so now Red Skull is going to attack Captain Marvel. He gets +1 attack for Censor the Past. We'll draw his boost card, which is a 1. So he's going to do attack of 1 + 1 is 2 damage to Captain Marvel. That takes her down to 10. And then our encounter card says Hydra Exosoldier. He comes into play with toughness. Give the villain a that's just his card. Toughness. So he's has a hit points of 5, scheme of 2, and attack of 2. So that's a powerful minion into play already. Okay. That will end the Red Skull's turn. It'll begin Captain Marvel's turn. So we have the Power of Justice, 4 Justice, Determination, Jack Flag, and Energy Channel. So I think the first thing that we'll do is we will exhaust the Avengers Mansion to draw a card, and that draws us another 4 Justice card. Don't really need that many in our hand, but we'll take it. Determination, after you spend this card, remove 1 threat from the main scheme. That can come in handy. I think the first thing that we'll do is we're going to play the 4 Justice card using the Power of Justice to get rid of Censor the Past. So we'll discard it, remove 3 threat. And it says, when defeated, each player chooses up to 3 cards in their discard piles and shuffle them into their deck. So I think what I'll do is I'll go find some of those resources that I had earlier. Energy and strength. And I'll shuffle those 3 into my deck. Okay. 4 cards left. Energy Channel, Jack Flag, Determination. After you spin this card, remove 1 threat from the main scheme. I think what we're going to do is we are going to let's do this. Let's put Energy Channel out. It's an upgrade. It says spend X energy resources, put X energy counters here. Attack, discard Energy Channel, deal 2 damage to an enemy to a maximum of 10 for each energy counter here. So do we want to remove that Hydra Exosoldier? I think we do. I think what we're going to do is we're going to play Determination. After you spend this card, remove 1 threat from the main scheme. Same thing, Jack Flag and 4 Justice to put 6. Total of 3 energy counters here. 2, 3. Captain Marvel's going to attack the Hydro Exosoldier. Remove that toughness card, and then we'll just discard Energy Channel to get rid of that Hydra Exosoldier. And I think what we'll do is we'll flip down to the Carol Danvers side. It allows me to draw a card. Let's see what we get. We got Photonic Blast. I think I'll discard that card for now. And in my turn, I'll just draw 6 fresh cards. So we've got Under Surveillance, the Power of Justice, Quasar, Spider-Woman, Energy, and another Photonic Blast. So those are our 6 cards that we'll begin our turn with next time. We'll ready Carol Danvers. Ready the Avengers Mansion. Red Skull takes his turn. So the first thing he does is put one threat on a scheme. Then we do our forced response. After resolving step 1, we draw a side scheme. And in this case, we're going to draw the prison camps. When defeated, the player who defeated this scheme searches their deck and discard pile for an ally and puts it into play and shuffles their deck. That could be good. So it comes into play again with 3 threat on it. Red Skull is going to scheme. So we draw our boost card, which is 1 plus 2 is 3. So we put 3 threat on the Rise of Red Skull. And then we draw our encounter card, which is Red Skull's Luger. Attached to Red Skull, Red Skull's attack gain piercing and ranged. I can spend resources, 1 of each, to discard this card. It gives it a +1 scheme and +1 attack. So that gets attached to Red Skull. And that's the encounter card. So Red Skull's turn is over. And now we'll begin ours. So we do have Carol Danvers, which allows me to draw a card. So we're going to draw Energy Channel. We also have Avengers Mansion. We can exhaust it to draw another card. We have Nick Fury. Okay, Nick Fury. I think the first thing that we'll do is we are going to play the Power of Justice to put out Under Surveillance. That's a good card to play in solo because it says attached to the main scheme, max 1 per scheme, increase the target threat value of attached scheme by 4. So our target threat value is 8. Now we've raised it up to 12. So we could remain in Carol Danvers' form if we would like to. Don't think we will, though. I think what we're going to do is we are for sure going to put Energy Channel on the table. That will come in handy. And with that, we will tell you what. We're going to spend 3 resources to put Quasar into play. So we're going to spend Nick Fury and Energy to put Quasar into play. I think it gives us Spider Woman and Photonic Blast in our hand. So when Quasar comes into play, you can remove 1 threat from each scheme in play. So we're going to remove 1 threat from the prison camps, which brings us down to 2. And we're going to remove 1 threat from the Rise of Red Skull, which takes it down to 3. And then we are going to exhaust Quasar, giving him 1 consequential damage for doing so, to... No, I think we're going to hold off on that for a moment. Because I think what we're going to do first is we're going to flip over to Captain Marvel's side. And we'll use her to do 2 thwart to the prison camps, which that takes 2 off. Removes prison camp to the discard pile. And when we do that, prison camp says when defeated, the player who defeated this scheme searches their deck and discard pile for an ally and puts it into play and shuffles their deck. So it's always good to go find the card that we just discarded, Nick Fury. We're going to bring Nick Fury into play, and he will allow us to draw 3 cards. So we're going to draw 1, which is Strength. We'll draw another, Cosmic Flight, and we'll draw another, which is Followed. So we can take a look at what we got here. All right, so I think we'll do think we'll spend 3 resources to play Photonic Blast. It says deal 5 damage to an enemy if you paid for this card using an energy resource, draw a card. So we'll do 5 damage to knock Red Skull down to 0. And that'll flip Red Skull. We knock 5 off of his health. Bring the new Red Skull into play. It says when revealed, deal each player an encounter card. So we'll deal myself 1 encounter card. We'll put it here for now. And he comes into play with 16 health. And so we will attack with Quasar. We're going to attack for 2 onto Red Skull. 1, 2. And then we will attack for 2 with Nick Fury onto Red Skull. 1, 2. And we will place 2 energy counters here onto the energy channel. Hopefully I did everything right there. Something didn't feel right, but okay, so we have Red Skull down to 12. We'll ready the Avengers Mansion. We'll ready Nick Fury. We'll ready Quasar. Of course, both of those took consequential damage for their actions. We'll ready Captain Marvel. And that is it for Captain Marvel's turn, other than to draw the 5 cards. So we'll draw Alpha Flight Station, draw Lockjaw, Crisis Interdiction, Followed, and Energy Absorption. Okay, so those are our 5 cards. We'll begin Red Skull's turn. So he adds 1 threat to the Rise of Red Skull. Then we draw our side scheme, which is Philosopher's Stone, Hinder 2, plus 3 is 5 threat on that. Victory of 0. When defeated, the player who defeated this scheme may draw 2 cards. Okay, so Red Skull is going to attack. He has that Luger, so he's going to gain piercing and ranged. We're going to block with Nick Fury. We'll have to discard him anyway at the end of this turn. So we draw our boost card, which gives him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. We'll place 5 damage onto Nick Fury, which will discard him. And now our encounter cards, we already drew ourselves 1 earlier. Let's draw an additional 1. We'll flip the first one that we had out there, and it has MODOK. Retaliate 2. After this character is attacked, deal 2 damage to the attacking character. So we have MODOK on the table, and we have Master Strategist. Attached to Red Skull. When Red Skull activates, give him an additional boost card for each side scheme in play. Then discard this card, max 1 per activation. Okay. So we have 5 on our Philosopher's Stone. We did draw a nice hand last time. We're going to take and put 3 energy absorption. We're going to spend 3 resources to put 3 energy counters here. So energy channel gets 3 more. Captain Marvel is going to attack Red Skull with energy channel to do 10 damage to the Red Skull. Well, all we had to do was flip that 1. Takes him down to 2 health. And then Captain Marvel, for her final action, will do 2 damage to the Red Skull to drop his health down to 0. So Captain Marvel has defeated the Red Skull using the Doomsday chair and the Galactic artifacts. So again, I'd like to thank the Marvel Champions monthly podcast crew for issuing this challenge. If you would like to attempt this challenge, I'm sure they'd love to hear your results, so I'll be posting a link down below where you can record them. For those watching, if you would like to challenge me to a matchup, you can post that down below or email me at boardgamelawyer@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next week.